Hi, hello and welcome from wherever you join me today. Yes, it's me again, Jim Black from the Three Hats Stage Media channel. The channel that Hope provides entertaining content media for all the world's stages. This is a Pause for Thought edition, where I look at one of my favourite movies and see what messages we can take from it and how we could use those insights in today's busy lives. All the movies I review come from over the past 3 or 4 decades, some you may know and some you may not. They all come from a book or screenplay, have a great cast and a fantastic soundtrack. Today's movie is no exception. It's the 1996 movie, Jerry Maguire, written by Cameron Crowe with an all-star cast. Tom Cruise, who plays Jerry Maguire, Renee Zelwegger, who plays Dorothy, Cuba Gooding Jr., who plays Rod, and you've got Marcy, his wife, played by Regina King. Jonathan Lipnicki plays Ray. You may recognise him from Stuart Little. The supporting cast is good as well. You've got Kelly Preston, you've got Ray Moore, and you've got Jerry O'Donnell, to name but a few. So I ask, should you be shown your money? And who had you at hello? Let's get into this review and find out all about it. Have you ever wanted a simpler, more complete, easier life? You know, one where there's less clutter. I mean, you may have everything you want, but you may just have a bit too much of it. In our material lives, we often spring clean. We reorganise, we reorder, and we put everything back into a place clean and tidy. Our personal lives, however, slightly different. We've got those we know and love, we've got those we work with, and we've got those that just make us cross for no reason whatsoever. Jerry has a vision, an epiphany. He sees one night, when he has a night that he can't sleep, that less could be more. And personal service is what it should be all about. His life is full of clutter, and we're going to find out more about it as the movie review goes on. He writes a mission statement. He hands it out to everybody that he works with at the sports agency. Although they all agree with it in principle, none of them actually want to simplify their lives because they're on the roll. They're on the way up. They get everything they want. Why would they want anything less? They just can't see it. Dorothy, a goldfish, and Rod Tidwell are the only things that Jerry leaves the firm with to start on his mission to try and sort things out. Let's take a look at the plot and see how he gets on. As all the relationships move on, Dorothy has some doubts, because after all, they've only got the one client, and the sports agents in the US all rely on the commission they receive from getting the sports stars those contracts. And as Jerry's only got the one, well, could be difficult. There's pressure from Avery, Dorothy's sister. But just as Avery decides that Dorothy should move on, and just as Dorothy's packed up everything and about to go, Jerry asks the big question. And yes, they get married. There's a fabulous scene where Rod sings one of Marvin Gaye's classics, What's Going On. It's a great rendition and it's one of my favourite parts of the movie. You should watch it, just for that alone. Anyway, after the wedding, they're not really a wedding couple, but they've done it for business reasons and they think they can make it work, just like we all do when we first get married. Jerry works flat out, trying to get more clients, one in the name of Cush, who's supposed to be the superstar, the one that all the teams want, and if you can get that deal, that's big money. But there's Bob Sugar. He's one of Jerry's old people that used to work with him who also wants that contract. We'll have to see how that one works out. Jerry chases down lots of different leads, meets up with people let him down. People think he's a loser now because he's on his own and he's not doing it like he used to. As the film moves on, the relationship is strained even more, not only with Dorothy, but also with Rod. After all, will he get shown his money? He wants the qualm. It's a good word and it's his word. Jerry tries to take it at some point in the movie, but He doesn't succeed in delivering it like Rod does. What will happen? The scene at the football match, the last game of the season with Rod and Jerry, very moving, very touching, works really well. Jerry races back. He's got to save what he's got with Dorothy, but can he do it? Will that famous living room scene be the bit that turns it all around for him and makes his life start again? As you know, I don't like spoilers, so you'll just have to wait and see by either watching the movie or finding out somebody who will tell you, and that won't be me. As we all go through our lives and want to spring clean, what we should remember is spring clean ourselves. Don't try and change everybody else. Let them come along if they want to. You can tidy things up to some degree, but you know, the big picture is get on with your life, make you happy. Show the money that you want to see. It can be anything, it doesn't even have to be money. And think about the people that had you at hello. They're just as important. There's great trivia attached to this film. Did you know that Cameron Crowe's mum appears in the famous living room scene? Just as a cameo part. And also Cameron Crowe was the director of the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers song back in 1983. Some trivia from Ray in the movie. The human head weighs 9 pounds and bees and dogs can smell fear. Dickie Fox, who's just a character in the film, but it's based on some sports, genius that quotes a lot of good things. He says roll with the punctures because tomorrow's another day. And remember the taglines in this movie. They are, the journey begins now, and it's all about that journey. So live it and be it. The soundtrack that I said about, the fabulous soundtrack, it is really good. There's so many artists. It's worth buying the soundtrack just for all the songs on it. Paul McCartney, The Who, Fleetwood Mac, Neil Young, Bob Dylan, Amy Mann, to name but a few. You've even got Herb Albert playing his Tijuana Brass and Lonely Bull, which is another good scene in that movie. So always remember, do your best with what you've got and try and make it work. Hopefully I'll see you again in the next video review. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, I've left some links in the bio below. Click on them and that'll take you to the book, the movie and the soundtrack. It's where my thoughts and inspirations come from. If you want to be a part of our community, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we upload the next one. Comments are always welcome, drop them below as well, and I'll do my best to get back to them as and when I can. I've been Jim Black for 3 Hats Stage Media on this edition of Pause for Thought. See you again soon.